Good morning, collective. Welcome. Thank you all for coming to the channel. All right, I ask that you have an open mind. This message isn't going to resonate with everybody, excuse me, but for those of you that it does, pay attention to the message, okay? Because it could be a lot of different things in here that you know that you got to start paying attention to and really just breathe, right? Because it's deep. A lot of people aren't going to be ready for what's coming, all right? And we know there's things coming. There's a lot of things coming to light, a lot of things being exposed. Um, but this is a deep message, okay? This has been sitting here since yesterday, and I was just like in one of those moods, like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what the energy is like. But first of all, let me tell you, forgiveness is the way to healing. Let me just tell you, and understand, forgiveness is for you, not necessarily for the next person that you feel like you need forgiveness to, or they could ask you for forgiveness. It's like you can forgive somebody 100 times, but you could tell them, but if they're not ready to receive or not willing to receive, you know what I'm saying? That forgiveness just goes out and it's like it's never been given. Okay, so understand. Forgiveness is for yourself for what you have. Forgive yourself for what you have or haven't done. Okay, period. Ahead of time, right? It's like asking God for forgiveness and then He gives you the forgiveness, but then you don't even have enough strength to accept it because you still haven't really worked on that one thing inside. Well, this is where a lot of you guys cutting it out, okay? So I don't know if this is going to be the title, but this is what I wrote for the title, so I want to just give it to you guys. And if I do this as a premiere, it's what you're going to see up there, okay? So it says, you are being cleared, a diamond in the rough you were trained to maintain. Oh, this is deep. This is deep. A lot of you guys have been trained to maintain for this special initiation for what the Most High has prepared for you, okay? I can't tell you what that special thing is, but just know that it's something special, okay? Because you've been trained for this, and I'm gonna get into why you've been trained, how you've been trained, and different things of what the situation could be. And there's one main energy that I'm gonna get into, like again, that a lot of you can resonate with. Okay, so all right, so you're being cleared, right? Being cleared, diamond in a rough. So it's like you're going through all these different phases in your life, different people, different instances. And it's like no matter how rough it gets, you have to be the one to shine. You have to be the one to execute. You are a spiritual equalizer, first of all. That's the number one thing to understand within this message. You guys are a spiritual equalizer, and that's deep. Okay, so what does it mean to maintain? Why were you trained to maintain, right? So regardless of what you've been through, you were kept at a certain state so that you were able to be used for a specific purpose, right? Again, we don't wrestle against flesh and blood, but principalities. So therefore, you already know when you're arguing or fighting with a physical person, it's a spiritual, the spirit man is being tempted, okay? Tempted. So you've been kept at a certain state. So no matter what you've been through, like you've been having to go through obstacles, but you've been getting through them, right? You've been dealing with love, careers, businesses, people, places, and things, period. Just in your life where you've had to um, get in a situation, fight through that situation, get to the solution, and solve it, right? A lot of you guys are understanding that it's time for solutions, solving things, not just being stuck in stagnant energy. And that's what's happening here. A lot of you guys, ooh, it's getting deep. I don't want to get too far into the message until I break it down because um, it's deep, okay? So a lot of you guys have had the potential all along, right? Is what a lot of people say. Oh, you got good potential. Your potential is so amazing, right? And it's like you're gonna become da 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 da. But let me tell you, a lot of you guys, you realize that you're not trying to become who you are, right? Into your best version of yourself. You already are. It's just tapping into that energy, right? Higher self, higher knowledge. Equalizer, right? So an equalizer is to make things and people equal in the way that it needs to be equal, right? That will go above somebody else's head. Again, you have to have an open mind. But we all have an equal opportunity on earth to what? Do the work that we're supposed to be in purpose. But a lot of people don't choose that. But the ones that I'm talking to, you are a spiritual equalizer. Like there's things that's going to be cut. on purpose because you were trained to maintain a certain way, a certain thing for a certain purpose. All right. So subdue. So a lot of you have overcome, quieted your mind, right? You had to learn how to get things under control. Self-control is the number one thing for the ones that resonate. A spiritual equalizer has to have self-control, right? Self-control takes time. Self-control can take years. Self-control takes purpose, right? It calls for you to have personal growth. So a lot of people have personal growth in the sense of understanding, like finding the right alignment, right? Understanding to you have to go through something to get through something. That's just period. It's no way to be in training to maintain something without going through something. So that's the purpose. You're going to be used for a specific and special purpose. Okay. So restoration. Restoration is really big when it comes to this energy, because a lot of things are being returned to people, right? It could be places, certain conditions you need to be returned to in a sense of your mental state, right? So a lot of people, don't get to have that restoration of their mind. Like a lot of people lose their mind. A lot of people are stressed out. They can't come back. But those that I'm talking to, you're the equalizer. You're about to set some things straight in different areas, in different places, and different things in many lives, okay? Because it's just a part of your purpose. So there's a deep understanding of what you're up against, okay? So inner power. So everything you need will come in perfect time when it comes to you understanding how you are a diamond in the rough, right? So it's like all that murky, all that mess, all that stuff, there's a solution here. And you guys that I'm talking to, the equalizers, you have found that where you were trained to maintain, you're ready to go forth. And these things, this direction and all this stuff will come to you in the perfect time, right? So just pay attention to the signs, synchronicities, um, when you have to go through things, right? Go through your process, but detach away from the outcome because the outcome is going to be different, right? Sometimes we set things for ourselves and they don't really come off or come out or be the way we want them to be. But there's a specific purpose because of how you were trained to maintain. And if you look back over your life and you think things over, this is a church song. You can truly say you're blessed, right? Because for me and my situation and how I'm coming talking to you guys and giving you this message, oh, I was trained to maintain to do what I'm about to do. And it's not just within this community, but just as an individual. Um, my spirit has been going through tests for years. Okay, do you understand? Do you see that look on my face? For years. And it's finally to the point where I'm like, okay, being a diamond in the rough has not been easy, right? Right? It's not so much of a physical appearance, but it's the inner. Like, what is your inner like? And you have to be an equalizer, know how to cut things out to solve things, to make things equal. Like, so I was at my friend's house watching the show Equalizer. This has nothing to do with why the Equalizer came up in this, but it's just funny because watching that and seeing how it goes, it's like, oh, it was just like things was being done in a way that you would be like, oh, that's is deep, but it's a reason for it because it's meant to make things equal, right? So if you take something from someone that's not yours and you expect to, there's consequences for everybody. Let me just say that. Everybody has consequences, right? So feminine energies, warrior woman. A lot of you guys have had the question of what it is that you're supposed to do, right? So this card here says, how are you answering your deepest calling? Well, a lot of you guys are finding the truth about this right now. It's coming in, right? Just understand forgiveness is the way to healing. You have to keep that forgiveness in the front, back, middle, side, under, everywhere. Keep forgiveness all around you. It's written all over your face, right? And don't get it twisted because a lot of you guys have been humbled. We're gonna get into that. And it's not being humbled by you doing things and somebody humbling it's not about nobody else when you find humbleness. It's beyond the ordinary, right? It's not something that you would expect to maintain, but you were trained to maintain this energy. Okay, so is there anything else I have to say? Okay, so we're starting off with the energy of I may name some of these cards, I may not. I really need this message to come off exactly as it should so that you don't really focus on cards itself, but listen to the message, okay? So a lot of you guys, you've you're able to be honest, right? When it comes to certain instances in your life. Most of the things that you need to say, you say, and sometimes they can be a little direct. And sometimes direct energy is not what somebody wants when they're going through it, but sometimes you have to give a direct message, right? A direct action, right? Because it's called for it. It's not to be nasty, but if it comes off nasty, it's supposed to trigger something in something, but not in a way that most people think. It's like just trying to be conniving, deceiving. That ain't none of this. Is not what we're doing here. That's not what this is about. That's not what you're about. You were trained to maintain. All right, so you guys humble yourself before the Lord, right? You walk in love and forgiveness. It takes a lot to get to that point, to fight through so many different instances and be able to walk in love and forgiveness. Does not mean because you've forgiven a situation, because we say this, you've forgiven a situation or a person, however you want to put it. Like I said, forgiveness is for you, but if this is how you look at it, this is how I'm getting it. You had to learn how to walk in love and forgiveness. It does not mean that you have to deal with that person because you forgave them. You forgive and you move on when it calls for you to move on, because there's a certain purpose that you were trained to maintain, being a diamond in the rough, where you have to equalize situations. You have to do what you got to do. Okay, spiritual equalizers, like you tapping into the spiritual realms, right? That spirit, your soul, your spirit, man, your all that good stuff, right? You understand all that stuff lies within. So when you don't work on within, like, you can't be trained to maintain anything. So it's a deep thought, but it's beyond the mind. It's beyond the physical, right? So with you being humble before the Lord, right? Walking in love and forgiveness, this brings peace and joy, right? So Proverbs 8:17 says, I love them that love me, and those that seek early shall find me. So a lot of you guys have been seeking the most high, right? The universal laws. A lot of you guys are in tune with some of those things. A lot of you guys know that we have to fall, get back up again. But again, you were trained to maintain, because this is how the earth goes. It's like a balance thing. It's like when things are rocky in your life, you have to find balance. And it's like sometimes it's like this, and then you come back up the scales, right? Because you're trying to balance the scales. The justice card. There was a lot of injustices that was done in your life that put things up here or here, and then you get things balanced. It's like a ebb and flow. It's always something. So it's like when you find that right balance where you were trained to maintain, and you finally get there, that diamond in the rough, then you bridge the gap. It's like there's a lot of bridges that were broken, right? And it's like that's a destruction card in one of the decks, right? It's like a crack. It's like this. But see, where you guys were trying to be when it comes to your true fulfillment is like bridging the gap, right? Okay, so let me give you what I was saying about the equalizer real quick. That's just a That's just the beginning, okay? Because we're going to tap into this energy, because I'm interested in finding out myself what this is all about when it comes to going further with you guys, because I didn't go no further than where I went when it comes to that. But that was just the first bit of messages that I got that I wanted to share with you guys. First of all, with the equalizer, this is the higher self card, right? Don't pay attention to what the card says. Just listen to the message, okay? I mean, what you see in the card, okay? Just understand. There's a message within all this, right, that you need to hear. So, equalize a higher self, right? So that's where the equalizer came from. I just had to make that clear. That your higher self, you're tapped into your higher self. Like, you can't unturn and undo what is meant for you, okay? And a lot of people will try. A lot of people will break you down, because it's always a mental thing, right? We always get into this mental emotions. Emotions have been flowing, okay? So we have the energy of where a lot of you guys knew a lot of things. A lot of you guys know a lot of things. A lot of you guys have been stuck in the confusion state. But what it is it's like you had to be put in a situation where you had to like fold. It's like like you had to, like, it's like nope. So it's like so many things were coming around you. You were seeing so many different things. It's like people could say, "Oh, you a know it all. You think you know everything." Every time somebody blah blah blah. But again, it's things that spirit has been, sending your way. Things you've been going through that has had this notion of delaying you. It's not so much as that somebody else has been delaying you. This was all on self. You had to be delayed by spirit. It's a connection that I can't explain how you feel about when it comes to the Most High and the Spirit. But I know what we all look for, and that's a sense of peace, but it's beyond that. I'm just gonna leave it there because I don't want to tell you something that ain't for you, but I do want to tell you that if you've been in a confusion state, it's beyond the ordinary of why. It was like you had to pay attention, right? So now that you've paid attention, you're out of that. Like that third eye is open. It's like you can't close what you know, right? You're not playing dumb for what you know. You just ain't gonna tell everything, and you haven't been telling everything. But the thing of it is, some things are going to be exposed, right? Like I said, a lot of things are happening. A lot of people aren't going to be able to deal with what's being exposed, right? But when what's done in the dark comes the light. It takes a lot to grow. It takes a lot to be humble. It takes a lot to walk in love and have forgiveness. But forgiveness is the way to healing. That is just, it's true. But you have to follow your deepest calling because there's a purpose for that. You were trained to maintain all these things that you've been through in your life, good, bad, and indifferent. I don't care what you've been through. If you're still here, thank God you made it, right? That's that type of energy because it's necessary. Like he trained you to maintain you for a specific purpose. And some people are looking for their purpose. And the ones that I'm speaking to, you're the equalizer. You're going to help people find that purpose that is already within. You're not really within, okay? You're helping to find that purpose within. There's a reason. We have to have solutions and not keep causing problems, right? This period. So the spiritual equalizers, we're out here. We're out here and we're ready. We're ready. We weren't waiting to become who we are. We are who we are. And now we're ready to be that diamond that is cleared, that was trained to maintain, that is out there, that's gonna shine, that's gonna do what we gotta do, and God will handle the rest, right? He gives us our daily bread, right? And we thank him for everything that we have. And you can believe what you want, but I'm trying to tell you, those who know, and those who don't, you can know. Like here goes a message that you can share with other people to understand that you're trained to maintain these things, right? Your trials and tribulations are for a reason. And anybody that says, I can't believe that I went through this, you got to look at from when you were younger all the way up until the age that you're now, even if you're teenagers, different things. Pay attention to what it is that you do, right? You have a chance to do things differently than was done before, right? Ancestors, all that. Like you have a lifeline of people who have been in your situation and had to go through the same thing. Some of them were trained to maintain in their time, and some of them didn't make it. But for those of us that can, it's a part of putting those things out and really touching the hearts of those who need to be touched, which is everybody, but not everybody's going to want to listen. I told you when you come in here, have an open mind, right? Because it's permanent. Permanent. That what's going to happen is going to happen. A lot of things we don't know, and a lot of things that we do, and a lot of things we can speak about, a lot of things we can't. But you were trained to maintain a diamond in the rough. Okay, so now it was like the delays. Now back into the message because I'm going to get this out. All right, so now the enlightenment comes when you have been like, it's like you hear the stagnant delays. It was like you had to be stuck. Okay, you had to be stuck in certain situations at certain times for a certain amount of time. But now it's like the awakening. It's like you're upright, you're standing there, you're realizing that I see all this from behind, but yet it's still not seen on a physical eye to a lot of people that you're wide awake on a lot of different things that you don't speak about, because a lot of times you can speak about things, but people don't really want to listen. They don't want to hear you. They think you tripping, or they just think you just, I don't know what they think, but those who know, you know how deep this is when you've tried to put yourself in a better position than what you were before. But you really had to go through those lessons to really figure out and have that self-control. It took a lot of time for me to have self-control in a lot of different things that I've done in my life, right? You know what I'm saying? To realize, like, dang, I've done that, and things was popping. I was doing this, blah, 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 blah. Then when you get to that next level, it's like, I wasn't fighting against the physical of a person. It was like the flesh. Like, I'm serious. Temptation is of a drug, okay? Because a lot of things are easy to get into, but a lot of people aren't able to get out of those things that it's easy to get into. But when you're trained to maintain, God is going to put you in a position to deal with certain things, right? And it's up to you. It's up to you to listen, to feel, to understand, to learn those lessons, to have that forgiveness, right? In order to do the things that you're meant to do. So a lot of you that were trained to maintain, you took that position and you said, all right, I'm gonna do it. You just jumped in, right? When you came in this world, you were in. Once you came through that womb, you was in. Okay? And then it was like, okay, boom, your life started. And you had to go from there. And there were so many different things that a lot of people have went through from birth to till your present age. And it's like, as you look back over your life and you think things over, again, like I said, you can truly say you've been blessed because you've been able to maintain your training. And there's still more training to do. Trust and believe. You'll never stop learning until the day you go, right? You're going to learn something. So, again, being in that position, it's like your eyes are open. You see, you understand, you know, right? But more overly than what you know is you see. You see. So a lot of you put your love on the shelf. A lot of you are not making judgments. A lot of you aren't taking leap of faith. A lot of you are overly emotionally. A lot of you are realizing that being open and investing in certain things, mm, you had to equalize some situations, okay? So that love is still there. The judgment you make for that leap of faith and getting your emotions back on grounding brings you being open and the scales being balanced, okay? Ten of Pentacles. This is where we're getting to. It's not just about financial, but this is in all things because what your position holds, you're going to be taken care of. Your daily bread is going to be provided, right? But it's an understanding you have to have about your purpose in your life and what you're maintaining. So the diamond in the rough, what it is that you're set to do, trust and believe, just pay attention, okay? So I was going to tap into this a little bit differently, but I'm really not going to do that. Just understand everything that seems like it's delayed, you are already in position and ready, right? Some of you are already in this, right? But a lot of things you can't speak about because you got to make sure, again, we're not wrestling or fighting against the physical body, the flesh, right? This is just what we have with our spirit inside, but principality. So it's like a lot of attacks on the mental. Everything that you've read about that seems unreal is real. All is not what it seems. It's like at one point when you watch scary movies, all kinds of movies, it's like a lot of things were considered as fiction, but then we come to find out a lot of those things have a lot of truth. Some of them are true, right? So then we have to live in this world where what you once thought or what you once seen um, has a whole nother side, right? It's two sides. You have your light and your dark. So you know there's two sides to everything, right? But then it's like, what is the truth? So again, that's bridging the gap. That's finding that balance. That's the you know what I'm saying. The Temperance card is the only thing that has the cups where the alchemy it flows, right? You see where it's not side by side. You know what I'm saying? Like most of the cups, two of cups, you see that, but the Temperance gives you that balance in all things, right? So it's like this, but the alchemy, it's like the flow of everything. It's a certain rhythm that you have to be in, and a lot of you guys have found your rhythm, right? That diamond in the rough, you're able to move through murky waters. You're able to move through all these trying things, but it takes work, patience, and fortitude. All right, so let's see. Let's see if there's anything else because this is going to be wild. I'm just going to tell you now because it's deep. I wasn't going to do it, but I'm going to do it. Okay? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. So let's see what this energy is here. I'm not going to tell you what it is because just not meant to do that. Okay, it's just I just have to give it to you as it is. Well, of Fortune can't make it up. I'm trying to tell you this is your with you, and this is in you being in you being woke. With you being woke, the Wheel of Fortune, things have to go. It's either it's gonna go one way or the other. Like I said, it has a flow. So you guys that are sitting in this position as the spiritual equalizer, right? The diamond in the rough, you're being cleared, but you're being cleared for a reason. Like everything that you were trained to maintain, things will come in, and as you go through things, you're going to understand your position and what you're meant to do. That's what I'm understanding from all of this. And I'm just like, ooh, can I get to the next step? Right? But you have to follow suit. Okay? Because for every suit, there's a particular number that you got to go through. You can skip all you want. Some people do skip. Like people skip grades all the time or skip from one thing to college, right? You know, it's just all on your level. Everybody's on different levels. So you can't really compare with somebody else and compete with them in their position, because you don't really know what they were trained to maintain in. And when you do find things out, you're like, ooh, that's deep. Then you start to see things on a deeper level. Then you can follow your deepest calling. Then you can have the forgiveness. Then you know that love, right? Love is a powerful thing. But there's healing, right? You have to have healing. So I'm just saying, if you can do like the craziest things or whatever, and you are truly forgiven, right? You can honestly, truly believe deep down in your heart that what you ask God to forgive you for, that you've done against whatever you shouldn't, you know what I'm saying, that He's forgiven you, then you have to have that right to understand that, right? We have to ask for forgiveness for ourselves. We can ask for forgiveness for other people, but that's something that they gotta want to have, right? So say somebody does something and they ask for forgiveness and they really, really, truly don't want to do the same thing again, then they're not going to do it, and they can receive that forgiveness from the Most High. Like for us, if we ask for forgiveness for what we've done and we're willing to accept it and keep moving more. Yeah, a lot of you guys are, I'm telling you, the spiritual equalizer. Yeah, it's like mowing the grass. It's like when things get too high and you can't see, and you want to make it presentable and put it in its back to its normal state, you're gonna cut the grass. A lot of you guys are cutting things out. I promise you. And I know, right? So where you've been putting your love up on the shelf is because things have to be cleared, right? Even with the Three of Swords, like that's regret, sadness, heartbreak, loss, a lot of things that just don't feel good. But see, the thing of it is you can heal those things. You can heal those things. If you have a chance and you've been trained to maintain, you know that you can heal from heartbreak. Of course, it takes time, but it's like you're going to put your love up on the shelf until you get through that Five of Swords, right? It's like a hollow victory for some. It's like people having to do some things that just don't seem so nice, right? But when it comes to your life and your purpose and what you're meant to do, you have to be able to do that. So sometimes you have to put that cup of love up on the shelf and just let it be there. Go polish it up, wipe it up, whatever you got to do. That's self-love, that's self-control, that's working on yourself and not giving all off to others to clear, right? Because you're being clear. So don't go giving your energy off to people your love that you shouldn't be giving when it comes to that physical aspect, right? Because it's this energy here that has to clear, right? That so some people have been doing that for a reason, and that's why there's delays. It's not that you don't deserve or that somebody has just broken you that bad. It's just you have to have that understanding for yourself. All right, so let's see. Yeah, Judgment's Queen of Pentacles. So it's like just being at the top of your game on the spiritual gangster stuff, right? Spiritual equalizer. Just be, right? You have to be a spiritual gangster to know that you're not making a judgment, right? Usually gangsters, what do? They go, they handle stuff, they take things out, they clear, right? But see, this type of clearing is a spiritual cleanse. A spiritual cleanse is what I'm hearing. But you're not making judgments. You're a spiritual gangster, a spiritual equalizer. You're the diamond in the rough. So you will remain where you need to, but you were mainly put here, trained for a specific purpose. I just can't seem to get it out. And maybe that's what has happened to a lot of you guys. It's like you just can't seem to get it out, right? But that's all changing. You're being clear. All right, but you were trained to maintain. That's what I was trying to say. So when it comes to not making those judgments, you already know where you sit when it comes to your position, right? You're not trying to become who you are. You already are. You are awareness. I have messages that are old. You are awareness. So you're already aware, right? You are already aware. So, all right, yeah. So when it comes to not taking that leap of faith, that's because there's the Hierophant and the Ace of Pentacles here, right? This is Spirit saying, okay, you've trained to maintain what it is that you need to in many different instances. So this is for some of you guys when it comes to the Hierophant and the Ace of Pentacles, right? You can look up and see what this means because I don't really want to say what it means for you, but you know, it's higher knowledge, higher power, higher wisdom. There's things that come to you. So again, the delays aren't for nothing. But it's like if you want to if you want to sustain something, right? That's support different things, right? It's a lot that comes with sustaining something, right? But again, you had to be able to be maintained at a certain state in order to have wish fulfillment. I'm telling you, like, it's hard to be in a certain state for a long time. And you're like, you've done a lot of different things. So it's like, what do you mean? being at a certain state. Like I've done many different things. I've been in many different things, but it's just your overall energy now for the strength and courage that you've had to maintain your dignity, your integrity, even when you've done the craziest or had the craziest things done to you. God was preparing you and training you to maintain through all that so that when you get this wish fulfillment, like you truly can enjoy what you can enjoy now because things are happening. Things are ending. People are leaving. And people that are here that are meant to help others while they're here, we have to go through some real deep things. Everybody goes through something. So I'm not set apart from none of you guys. But what I will say is I was trained to maintain in my position that I am, and I will stand here strong, right? Not necessarily in this, but I'm just saying if I'm going to be here, then I need to do my purpose, right? And my purpose is to tell you that, whew, there's a lot of things being exposed. A lot of people being exposed, but it doesn't matter who's exposed. If it does not resonate with you in your life, like you have to disregard that and look at your personal growth for yourself. Where are you at in your personal growth? It's okay to go back over the past and see what you've done and see what mistakes you can correct. But again, forgive. Okay, forgiveness is the way to healing. You have to be able to forgive. There's no way for you to ask for forgiveness and expect to get forgiveness if you cannot do the forgiveness for yourself. Like, let me let you understand that. Don't be stuck. Okay. Pray for the release. Like, prayer is a powerful thing, right? And a lot of people they want to see instant gratification. Again, it's like, yeah, I'm telling you, it's like every card that came out when I first started was in reverse. And I used to not take reversals and stuff, but I'm telling you, for the reversals that are here, like you've seen what was upright, what I've showed you. Every card I've showed you is upright, but everything else is in reverse. And the reason for that is because like it's like to be a feminine energy, masculine energy, right? I'm speaking to the feminines, but if there's masculines here, you understand. So you're understanding the bigger picture on your part, right? It's like to have that tangible thing, right? To finally come out of that stagnant energy and delay to really get to that point of position where you want to be. It's like, oh, the action. It's like once you're able to take this action, it's not like a drawback. It's like you might have to sit back, watch, look, and listen, but you ain't drawing back and not moving, right? It's just you know the terms and the positions and the situations of how you need to turn and do things in certain ways at this point. All right, so let me get one more for this energy that I'm hearing. But yeah, it's like King of Pentacles, Eight of Cups. It's like the past, the love, the resurgence. Like you're walking towards these things. You're in that position. So we have the King and Queen of Pentacles here, right? Period. Side by side. This is when you get into that. If you want to call, you can call it twin flame, whatever you want to call it, soulmate. We call it blessed and highly favored type relationships with the eight. So you're walking towards fulfillment. This ace of pentacles, three of pentacles all together. Right. This is what you come into when it comes to wanting relationships and the delays that you've had. But there is things of the past that you had to have forgiveness and the love for all things, right? All things. So that when you have the one thing, right, that comes to union, for those of you who believe and want union, there is a such thing, as you know, but it takes work and dedication. And a lot of you guys had to be trained to maintain. Like there's an ending of betrayals. You have to, when there's betrayals, whether this is you or somebody else, you have to know how to end what it is that you're doing if you want to maintain and not strain a situation. And a lot of person had to die to the flesh, right? Not necessarily physical, right? More on a mental, because these are Ten of Swords is mental. It's like you had to die to the mental of who you once were when it came to dealing with situations. We're all about solutions now. We're not stuck on trying to figure out how to manipulate a situation. You have to end those things. I promise you, you have to end those things, right? Of course, it's good to talk about things. Of course, it's entertaining. Now, if you see things for entertaining, then that's okay. But don't put those entertaining things in your life if it does not align. Any messages you hear, whether it's from me or somebody else, if it does not align with you, then don't worry about that, right? Because we don't just have a physical man and woman. We have same sex relationships and marriages as well. So it's like everybody has to understand their position. And a lot of people just can't be truthful with what it is that they want or what they're doing. But when it comes to you and your life, you want to know that what you were trained to maintain, that you can sustain that. So you want honesty, right? You're humble before the Lord, right? When it comes to your honesty. And I think the best thing is that we see, even with the Bible, out of all the good and the bad that we've seen when it comes to the Bible, it does tell you that, like, at the end of the day, every knee shall bow, right? So it doesn't matter what you've done. Every mouth shall confess. So while you feel like you're hiding here, right? You can talk about God all day, but you're not hiding from him, right? You know, everything that you do is seen. And if there's the time to come where you have to confess your sins, everything you've done is on you. What you've done is not on me. What I've done is not on you. Let's just make that clear. So I can't punish or put you in that position of you're going to pay for what I did. Right? No, I'm not paying for anything that you did. I know I have to pay for what I did. So when I ask for forgiveness or the repentance or whatever that it is that I do, I know that's between me and God. I don't have to express to you what my conversation is with him. Right? It's just the point. I'm telling you to have a conversation with him and just see where you come when it comes to the flow. But a lot of you guys already know, because you're diamond in the rough, you were trained to maintain. Okay? Just saying. Like, it gets deep like that, because sometimes it's just hard for me to bring certain messages out here, because I'm like, okay, I'm trained to maintain in this area. Okay, so now I'm being trained to maintain in this because I've been finished that. So it's like you gotta know what you know for yourself, right? But then you also got to see. So when your eyes are open, you know what I'm saying, they're open. A lot of people's spiritual eyes are open, and that's why they're spiritual equalizers. Not everybody can be a spiritual equalizer because they have not humbled themselves before the Lord. Okay, and that's understanding that it is beyond that. The creator of all things. I mean, we have so many names, but the one that created you, right? The spirit that you have, right? That blessed us to be in this amazing life, to go from a transition that's beyond the normal. Like, you think about it, when you 36, when a man and a woman connects and makes a baby, right? Like, this is like the birds and the bees, guys, okay? Right? 18 and older, because I'm telling you, the little kids know more than we know sometimes from, the online teaches a lot of things, okay? So, just saying, hats off to you online teachers that be teaching things that are beneficial to our children, okay? Thank you for that. All right, but yeah, so when you come together, you know what I'm saying, that sperm creates an individual, right? To be blessed to be older, as we pray that we shall, and we do, right? It gets deep, because it's like that's what you come from, and then you grow bones, hair, eyes, nose, mouth. And a lot of people go through instances where there's defects, and then there's all together, and it's like God has gifted everyone that is here a life, a spirit, right? The Most High, the creator of all things, the reason why you're here, the purpose. Everybody's looking for purpose. Everybody has a story about something. Everybody has the way that it should be. Everybody has made mistakes. Everybody has flawed. If you look at the Bible, for those who preach a lot of things, have you followed everything that is in the Bible? No. Have you made decisions that the Bible says doesn't make? Yes. Can you tell somebody or judge them for what they're doing and not be correcting your mistakes to live in that light of what you're saying? A lot of people have, a lot of people haven't. So it's like, a lot of you guys understand, being a spiritual equalizer, you're not making judgments on other people's lives. You're making judgments on your life. But if you're going to help somebody make a judgment, you're going to help somebody make a judgment that's well. If you're going to teach well, you're going to teach well. If you're going to speak well, you're going to speak well. If you're going to love well, you're going to love well. You know what I'm saying? You're going to try to do everything well that you can do, because we have to learn these lessons where not everything's going to be well, not everything's going to be good. You may be broken, but when you're blessed to get back up and do it again, that's what you're going to do. Okay? Okay. So let's get some Oracle. I hope that this message helps, guys. I know it's long, but you know what I'm saying? If I'm going to come on here and give this message, it was time for me to just do a little something different. Okay? Wasn't trying to. It's just the way the message came out. I was like, every card reversed. Like, it's a bigger picture to this, right? It's beyond the ordinary. And a lot of people speak like this all the time, but I'm not. I don't want to be like anybody else. I'm grateful for who I am. I thank God for all the lessons that I had, the good, bad, and indifferent. And I am free and at peace. Period. I am free and at peace. Like I said, you're a diamond in the rough. You're being clear collective. This is for all of us that are in this spiritual equalizer situation. I am a free person living in a world that is a reflection of my own love and understanding. And that's what I got for you. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And yeah, have a wonderful day.